What sparked your love for cooking?
Family. Cooking makes a lot of good memories. My dad was in the food service industry for several years. He's not now, but he started it. My great-grandmother was a terrific cook. She didn't ever think so, but I always loved spending time in the kitchen with her, watching her to cook, cooking with her, things like that. Thanksgiving and Christmas time, my family would always cook together, and it was just fun to see all the different components come together to make one meal and make so many different people happy, and it was just great times for me.
What was the catalyst for you to take that enjoyment, that love from cooking with your family to turning it into a profession?
That would probably be the influence of my parents. When I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. They're like, well, we know that you're great at cooking. Why don't you try the program up at AB Tech? And I was like, I mean, sure, that sounds like a fun time, but I don't know if that's like something I could make a career out of. And then I get here, and the very first class I have was with Chef Brown, and she made me fall in love with it even more. And then I realized exactly how big the industry was, and I was like, okay, maybe I can make a career out of this. And so through all the rest of the classes that I've taken and everything like that, it was just more and more confirming that I could make a career out of this, and that it would be something I'd love to do in my life.
So as a member of the hot food team, you have a fairly unique perspective as a baker coming into the team, which is largely a culinary team. Is there anything from your background and your classes as a baking student coming into the hot food team that gives you an advantage or a unique perspective?
I definitely learned a lot from the classes that helped with this, and then the team itself just strengthened everything that I had already learned, especially my organization and time management skills. I've learned how to work on multiple things at once and be successful in making all of them at the same time. I definitely see things differently than the culinary students from the wonderful baking instructors that I've had, all three of them. Like simple things that they wouldn't think is that hard until they try it, like just rolling out tart dough, which we have for that Avery is always teasing me saying I could do that for you instead, and his came out terrible. But like just small things, that paying attention to details, the little things that really matter in a dessert. Like you get one shot at most of this stuff. The culinary side of it, you can adjust things, add something to thicken it. Baking, you don't really get that. So I have definitely learned how to adapt when things go wrong and just put out the best thing I can.
And then one last question. If you could go back and say anything to the Rebecca that walked in the door here for the very first time into AB Tech, is there any advice that you think you could give to yourself after a year of not only classes but a year of intense work with the hot food team? What would you say to that person?
I would have two things. First of all, don't be afraid to mess up. You learn so much more from messing up than you do from doing everything perfect the first time. The real world is not always going to be perfect. You have to take what you have and make something better out of it. And the second thing I would say would be use your resources. If you have questions, go to the chef. Don't try to muscle through it yourself. You don't know everything. That's why you're here. Take advantage of their knowledge and their skills, everything that they've learned, so that you don't have to do it the hard way.